Just as forecasted in my last video, UBX went to achieve 300% growth in price. But since then, it started a new pullback, and today we will see what's its next move. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King, your host, and today's video is for educational purposes only, and it's not meant to be a financial advice because that's simply my own opinion. Now, if it's your first time in this channel and you happen to like my content, then please consider subscribing and smashing the like button. Also share the video if you think it's worth sharing. Now let's go and look at the chart. So let's start by doing a quick recap from my previous video. Now, if you happen to watch the last video of UBX, I did this video around the mid of October, and the price was around 0.0006 at that point. Now, I explained two things back then. The first thing was that the price was supposed to continue going up and break the previous high in order for us to have a new uptrend confirmed. And that has already happened because the price went all the way to around 0.0018 or 19 and made about 3 times growth in value. Now, the second important thing that I mentioned is that we were not yet sure what kind of structure we had at that point because we only had the initial wave and the second wave. So if we were to break this down, this is where the structure has started. This was the end of the first wave, and this was the first correction. And at this point here, we were not so sure if it was going to be a 3 or a 5 wave structure. But as soon as we broken down and completed the third wave at this point, now I can clearly tell you that this is going to be a 5 wave structure. And that's mainly because we have a strong momentum and we did not get any divergence between the initial wave of this structure and the second wave, which means there's a high possibility that we're going to get the 5th wave. So as soon as this 4th wave of the structure or the second correction is complete, we are going to get a 5th and the last wave that will most likely go and break the previous high and continue going up before the structure is totally complete. So the overall structure is going to look like this. This is the initial wave, this is the first correction, this is the second impulse, this is the second correction, and we should be due for a third impulse or a 5th wave and the last wave of this structure. Now, the most important thing as of this point where we stand right now, we need to try and analyze this 4th wave of this structure and understand if it has come to an end and how soon this wave will be complete before starting the 5th and the last impulse of this structure to complete the 5 wave structure. So now we will zoom in to the 4th wave and try and analyze it. On the 4 hours chart, after the price reached its previous all-time high at this point here, it has pulled down at this point and then went up to around the same point and formed some kind of double top. Now, this information is very important to keep it in mind because we'll be looking at something similar at the end of the structure. Now, if we are going to break this correction down, we can say that the initial wave of the structure has ended here, and this was the second wave, and now we are in the third one. Now, if you try to compare this last corrective piece of the structure to the first piece, you'll see a lot of similarity, as I told you in the beginning of the video. Because similar to how the pattern here has tried to form a double top before pulling down and ending the first wave, it seems that the pattern here is trying to form a double bottom pattern after it has dropped down. So there's a lot of similarity, but in a totally reversed way between the first and the third piece of this structure. Now, what this means, if this last piece is going to replicate what happened in this first piece over here, so the price is most likely going to pull down further towards this previous low before it continues its uptrend from this point onwards. So as we form the double top pattern over here, we're going to form a double bottom pattern before continuing up. And when that happens, the overall correction is going to be an A, a B, and a C. And this last piece is going to end somewhere over here. So as soon as this ends, we're going to resume our uptrend to form the fifth and the last wave of the bigger structure. So these three pieces together will be considered as the fourth wave of the structure. And if we zoom out, the overall structure at this point is going to look like this. This was the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, and this is the fourth wave that we are forming at this point, and then we'll get the fifth and the last wave of the overall structure. But there's also one additional confirmation that confirms this scenario of the fourth wave of the structure. And as you can see here, after zooming in and plotting the Fibonacci retracement levels, we can see that the price is trying to hold itself around the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, because this one was a deep pullback. It did not hold itself around the 618, which usually is the strongest. And so if after the price starts pulling back towards this point, if it does not hold itself around the previous low, we can see a little bit of extension towards the 786 before continuing up from this point. Now in either one of these cases, after the price pulls back and starts trending up, there is a very important price level that we need to look at in order to confirm the new uptrend, and that's going to be the breakout of the downtrend line. So as soon as the trend line of the fourth wave is broken, and as soon as we see the price comes down and then goes up and closes above this level over here, so that's the time where we can see that the new uptrend has already started. Even if it pulls back at this point to retest the trend line, we're gonna see it continue trending up further from this point. And that's my overall view of UBX as it stands right now. Tell me your opinion in the comments below and let me know what do you think. And if you liked today's video, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and also share the video if you enjoyed it. This was it for today, and until next time, stay safe and see you later.